Hello, class. Did you all know that communism is super cool? Geez, don't sound so excited about the whole thing, alright? That said, why is Kaiji the anti-capitalist anime you've been looking for? For this video, I'm mostly going to be talking about the anime, as it's a pretty direct adaptation of the 90s manga, and also because I haven't read too far past where the anime leaves off. Give me a break, I've been in quarantine, I can barely work, let alone read a manga that's not even physically out in English. Kaiji Ito is a young man in the midst of an economic recession in Japan. He's down on his luck, has a job he doesn't like, and seems to be lazy and vindictive. And most important to the show, he's a really, really bad gambler. He doesn't believe that he can do anything better than where he is right now. But the series really starts when Kaiji meets Junji Endo, a loan shark. Kaiji had previously co-signed a loan for his friend who has now disappeared without repaying his debts. Kaiji is stuck in debt that he could never pay off with his crappy job, and if he doesn't pay it off, the company would send him to an underground labor camp. So, Endo offers him an alternative: gambling for it to be erased. Guaranteed servitude or a gamble, with a chance to either go back to his mediocre life or again, slavery. He's at the mercy of those who have more money than him. His first gamble is on a boat, the S-Bar, a game of rock, paper, scissors on a set of cards. Yeah, this show uses a lot of betting games one wouldn't usually think of. And as all the, contestants are setting up, behind a large window on the second floor is some creepy old dude who's seemingly running the whole showboat. You don't really see him yet. It's incredibly tense, and the nail-biting fear that the show enforces on the viewer is finally obvious. But something else is obvious, too. After a bit of gambling, Kaiji sees a few men, just as in debt as he is, and goes towards them. He sees that they're struggling, scared to go down the same path to slavery that Kaiji is. He could step on these men, use their neediness to trick them into a bad deal, as it happened to him only a few moments before by another man. But he doesn't. Something ignites in him that he hasn't felt before. He wants to help these men as much as he wants to help himself. This, the men's trust in him, the need for the group to survive against all odds, is what keeps him going. He constructs an elaborate plan to get all of them the money they need to get out of this. What could be more anti-capitalist, more Marxist, than caring about your fellow man to the possible, and in Kaiji's case, probable, detriment of your own health? Now, come on, you say. That's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? He only does it because one of them is his friend. There's no way he'd do this sort of thing for people he just met. Well, no, you're wrong there. People are the ones that keep driving him to get better. People who believed in him and did all they could to follow through on their collective plan. Pure solidarity between people in downtrodden situations. Kaiji being willing to continue, to persevere, to survive, all for the sake of him and the people who have had it just as bad as him. All against a rich upper class who uses their suffering for entertainment in games always rigged in their favor, by the way. If class solidarity wasn't a big enough give on the Marxist skin this show is showing. Literally in the Communist Manifesto herself, Marx talks about how the lower class will always be seen as nothing to the upper class bourgeois, but things to do with as they please. And if it's not incredibly obvious, collectivism is the base ideology of Marxism. For a very on-the-nose example from the show, let's take the first few gambles from Season 2. Kaiji's alone, without any way to escape where he's at. He's brought into a game of underground CeeLo by the foreman, who promises that this is a simple way to make more money than he has currently. Another example of what Marx said, the boss pretending to be nice and all that. But his luck, strangely, doesn't last. The foreman does well, nearly cleaning Kaiji out on the first night. The perceived kindness all falling back in on itself, showing Kaiji the true nature of the foreman asking him to play the game. A boss tricking a worker out of their money. Very subtle. Until, oh, what's this? A collection of workers who want to stand up against their foreman no matter the cost? And whose specific skills contribute to what they can do for the whole of the group, just like the famous Marxist slogan, from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Wow! This show did a Marxism ideology. But the foreman notices the change in Kaiji after this revelation and starts treating everyone in the group worse, attempting to lower morale by abusing the people under him even further. I'm sure Marx had something to say about what the outcome of a situation like that over a long period of time would be. What was it? Oh, it's the working class would rise up and overcome their shackles, destroying their masters. This is exactly what happens. The workers, Kaiji and the like, use their combined strength to trick their boss into giving them back the money that they have been owed, throwing the foreman down to their level, and the excitement of this revolt getting the rest of the workers to side with Kaiji in hating the foreman. This is absolute textbook Marxism. To quote Marx himself, the slaves frees himself when, of all the relations of private property, he abolishes only the relation of slavery, and hereby becomes the proletarian. Kaiji, using the strength of a put-upon working class as a singular unit, pulls them up out of their unfair work and life of slavery. This is exactly what Marx said the workers would do, and what Marxists have been attempting to do for ages now. Kaiji Ultimate Survivor uses the guise of gambling for one's life as a very obvious metaphor for class warfare. From the working man protagonist who finds strength in unity and numbers, the Marxist proletariat, to the demonization of the cheaters, rich people in the show with the upper hand, the classic vampires of the bourgeoisie in Marxist literature. This show is not subtle in its solidarity with the working class. Hopefully, the show posits, you'll come to understand the importance of Marxist ideology in a capitalist world.